Hello, everybody. Welcome to an emergency episode of the School on a Boat podcast. I had completely different plans for this week. We were going to talk about the Sprouse twins and their traumatic childhood. It was going to be a good time. But instead, I am last minute re recording a brand new episode to come out this week because some immediate drama has started happening in the My Babysitter's a Vampire fandom. Now, this podcast is to talk about all things Disney Channel as well as primarily The Sweet Life on Deck. And My Babysitter's a Vampire does not apply to either of those criteria. It is not a Disney Channel show, famously. I've talked about this a lot on the internet before, but it is still not a widely known thing. So I really shouldn't be using the School on a Boat podcast as a space to talk about this whole drama. However, this is a very, very important thing that is happening right now. This is definitely breached containment. Stuff like this has happened in the past. We'll get to it, but this is the first time something like this has been like flooding my mentions, flooding my YouTube comments everywhere. Everyone has been talking nonstop about this supposed My Babysitter's a Vampire reboot under the title My Babysitter's a Vampire: The New Blood. So I wanted to get into it. I've done some research. I've done some searching on the internet about this because I'll be honest with you guys, things are looking a little fishy. Also, I have my fan on besides me. I hope it's not too loud. It is genuinely like a million degrees outside, and I have been struggling to record anything because of how hot it is. So that aside, let's get into the details. Let's just get into the basic things that have started happening. So on TikTok, a TikTok account under the name Mabav the New Blood. My notes are over here, by the way, so I'll probably be looking over here kind of often to see what I'm supposed to be saying. A TikTok account under the title Mabav the New Blood has been revealed to us in the world, as well as a YouTube channel with the title The New Blood, just The New Blood. Something that also seems pretty interlinked and interwoven with all of this is a brand new TikTok account under the name of Cario in USA, aka Tina. I will refer to this person as Tina because that's what their name is on their bio. So this account has existed for 4 days now, or has only been posting for 4 days, and is all about this new Mabav reboot. And this is where a lot of the more detailed information about this reboot has been coming from, which is all apparently leaked information. Okay, so this supposed reboot would be helmed by Tom McGillis, who was one half of the original creator of Mabav. The initial concept of the series was created by Tom McGillis and Jennifer Perch, who run the production company Fresh TV, which is the company that is being heavily assigned to this project. Tom McGillis is the only person being evoked that has actually worked on the show. As we all know, though, the show was really developed by Tim Burns. Jennifer Perch and Tom McGillis came up with the idea and worked on the show throughout its creation, and also came up with the initial pitch. But it's Tim Burns who took the initial pitch and it kind of grew it into what we understand the show to be. Things were very different before Tim Burns came into the mix. So I just thought I'd clarify that. Tim Burns' name has not been evoked at all throughout this entire everything. First initial fishy smell is using the acronym MBAV in the first place. I say Mabav, some people say MBAV. It goes back and forth. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But if you are upset with me saying Mabav, I'm sorry. It's just gonna be that way for the whole video. The thing with Mabav is that the fans on Tumblr specifically and the Facebook group page came up with this acronym. Actually, I think it was primarily on Tumblr. They came up with this fan name because MBV was the one that the actual people came up with who made the show. But that is the acronym for the band My Bloody Valentine, and they were upset that the Mabav people were constantly they had to share a tag basically. So the Mabav people created Mabav. So that's not that big of a deal because, yeah, sure, if they're making a new show, they would use the most popular acronym. They wouldn't use MBV. Never mind the fact that any time a person has posted about Mabav, who has worked on the show, in the modern day, they've used MBV as the acronym. Tim Burns recently posted that he owns the Lucifractor prop a couple years back already. So that's one thing. And I am, again, very skeptical of everything that has come out, and I will detail it now as we go on, but I want to clarify a few things at first. The first thing I mainly want to clarify is that I'm not bitter or upset about not being contacted at all or whatever about a Mabav reboot. I could see why people would assume that. The person, Tina, on this TikTok page has already started posting things that are a little bit hostile towards people who are questioning the validity of this reboot, which is, in their prerogative, I guess, to do. And we'll get into it. But as much as my friends in real life and on my Discord server, the Mabab Discord server, have been hyping me up about, like, oh my gosh, you're so important. They should have contacted you if this is real. Like, that's how we know it's not real. I realize that I'm a very small fish in an ocean and a universe of opportunities. So I'm not the most important person to contact or talk about in terms of, a reboot happening. There are many other YouTubers who have made videos that have a lot more views than mine do. However, in terms of quantity, I've definitely talked about the show the most out of any average YouTuber on the platform, as well as on my Tumblr account. I've been posting for years now, but also I understand that the average person doesn't know that Tumblr is still a thing that people actually post on there. Obviously, because I feel like if whoever is behind this project knew that there was a massive fandom on Tumblr, they would have somehow reached out to us. I have a feeling that there would have been some correspondence, especially if this was real. But I could see why not, because it's like, well, you guys aren't important. You guys think you're important enough to get contacted by a reboot happening. Like, I understand. Okay, I understand that we wouldn't get any previous correspondence before going public. But speaking of going public, one of the big things that this Tina person posted on their account was like a carousel of images talking about the reboot. So let's go through that post, because all of the official accounts have not really posted much. As of the time of me recording, the TikTok account has one video and it's just the logo, and that's it. It's just like a short teaser video of the logo, which is, a common thing for shows like this to do when they're, starting up their social medias, as like little teasers and hints, right? Okay. And the YouTube channel has now posted 2 videos, and we will get into those videos in a little bit. But something that I noticed right away is that everything used in all of this promotional material, none of it is brand new. None of it seems like it was created newly for this project. It's all assets that you could find easily just by poking around on the internet. And like the logo is this classic PNG that you can find anywhere, with some, not super professional looking designs for the new logo and such. In my opinion, at least, it doesn't look super professional. The logos and art material they've created for this project. And in that YouTube video, they include footage from one of the vlogs that Vanessa Morgan did. This is not a public video anymore, as far as I'm aware. And that's because it had a bunch of copyrighted music playing in the background of the vlog. And so the video was taken down by her or muted by her. I know that as well. So the fact that this footage has audio may be having people thinking, oh, they've uncovered this. This is new material. But if you know how to use the Wayback Machine, you can find the video with its original audio. We know that because we've done that on Tumblr already. We've dug up the old footage and watched it all through. And then you could just use AI to remove the background. There are plenty of tools out there that help you remove background audio, which it sounds like, from watching the video, it sounds like that's what they did, considering how garbled the audio is. I've dabbled in doing like background music removers and stuff with my videos and my footage, and I've noticed that the audio will sound a very similar way that it sounds in this upload on the YouTube page. And there is an audio snippet of someone claiming to be Tom McGillis talking about how they're going to start production on the show soon. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Let's focus on this TikTok that this person posted about possible leaks regarding the show. I'm going to read this word for word, so I'm going to lean over here and read it a little bit. All leaked information we have so far about the capital T upcoming sequel called My Babysitter's a Vampire, the capital T, New Blood. All information and screenshots were from a popular and not known, just leaker who has leaked the original movie and also other show. And then at the bottom it says leaker Discord server, The Film Collective. I joined the Film Collective Discord server to see and maybe try and correspond with these supposed leakers, and maybe there seemed to be multiple Discord servers with the title of the film collective when I looked it up. So maybe it was a private server that wouldn't show up in a Google search, and I just clicked on the first one and joined it. But I didn't see any conversation on that server about anything to do with My Babysitter's Vampire after poking around a bit. And to be fair, I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't ask anybody on the server. I just lurked a little bit, but that was my experience trying to find the person who leaked this information. And also this idea of known leaker who has leaked the original movie and also other show. I don't know what they're implying here with this. The show in its original existence and creation was in fact published was released to the world on a network in network television, but if they're meaning like the uncensored version or like who has currently uploaded all of that stuff to YouTube. That person I know personally, and that is Anakin, and we have been talking on Tumblr about how this is definitely fake. I don't know what they mean by person who leaked the original movie and also other show. I have no idea what that's in reference to. I would love to get in correspondence with this Tina person. I am not trying to be hostile at all. If this is real, I would love to be involved and I would love to promote everything, out loud on my channel. I know I don't have that much internet clout, but I would love to be involved. I wish this was real. I want this to be real. I'm just showing you guys what's been presented and then showing the research that I did afterwards. So that statement is quite dubious to me. They then posted the new logo. It says the logo, which has already been confirmed. Again, the My Babysitter's a Vampire part of it is a very easily accessible PNG you can find anywhere. There's not like a new font or a new color even done with the font or anything. It is just clearly the PNG that exists online. So even if this reboot is real, it doesn't seem like it's pretty creative. So I don't know how cool it would be. And then, yeah, just new font underneath that says The New Blood, which is fine. It's fine. Black background, nothing super creative or unique. The next piece is a screenshot of a YouTube account, the details of a YouTube account, and it says the official YouTube channel shows IP address with only one D in Canada, capital I. Account was made about 1 to 2 weeks ago. Anyone can create an account in Canada. They can either be Canadian or use a VPN or ask someone to make an account for them in Canada and then give them the login info. So that's not like good evidence to show like, look how real this is. It's a Canadian YouTube channel. That means nothing, really. And the YouTube account is called www.youtube.com/@mabavthenewblood. And then the title of the YouTube account is called The New Blood. And it was created on June 23rd, 2026. The next few posts are the most interesting. They are kind of blurry screenshots from a website. I can't quite discern what it is because text is covering what may or may not possibly be the title of the website that these are screenshots from. But the caption says, this shows it's getting formalized and processed at the moment for a copyright/trademark. It might take a while, just like the original movie took 8 years to gain trademark and copyright. And it shows some sort of search result of somebody searching up My Babysitter's a Vampire, The New Blood, and an application number and the current status of it being formalized, but not yet being confirmed. Now, again, I would love to get the links to this to look at it myself. This is just a blurry screenshot with a bunch of text covering important information. So I can't really, discern much from this screenshot. But something that piqued my interest was this comment that the original movie took 8 years to gain trademark and copyright. I don't think that's true. As far as I'm aware about the show and the series, it was not conceived in 2001, only to start filming in 2009 and 2010. I don't think that was how the show was made. I haven't seen, and now on all of the research that I've done to find out about the show's creation, I made a whole video about it last year or 2 years ago already, actually. From Mabavtober, I made a video detailing the tumultuous production of the show. You can watch the video if you're interested. And in that research, I found nothing about this show taking 8 years to get trademarked and copyrighted. That would mean that they had started working on it 8 years before they started filming. You cannot start, as far as I'm aware, in a legit production, start filming or talking about it publicly until you have all of your trademarks and patents. I don't think any legit, real company would actually ever do that, which the creators of My Babysitter's Vampire were working under. So that's extremely confusing and dubious to me, but I would like it to be explained to me. so we can work together on this. I don't want to be left in the dark about this information. If someone were to reach out to me and explain everything as it being all above board, that would be great. The next screenshot shows action history, so I guess this means like the different like steps that have been taken to get all of this formalized. And the caption says, "This shows the show is still getting legal registration done, but they chose to go public to fans." This just doesn't happen outside of like if anyone who knows how to do business, I don't think that they would do something like this. Like, we don't have it trademarked yet, but let's make it public because what stops me, random stranger, from doing something like, oh, I don't know, making my own TikTok account that says My Babysitter's Vampire the New Blood and posting a bunch of random shit saying, I'm making a new show called Mabav the New Blood. They can't do anything about it because they haven't copyrighted or patented it yet. It hasn't been formalized yet. So anyone can use that title for anything. This is why things don't go public until after patents and trademarks have been officiated. I don't know that much about the industry. Maybe there is a reason why this could be okay and this could be normal, and I just don't know about it. I don't work in the industry or anything. I've just done simple research into small things, and to me that is just what makes the most logical sense, is that it makes no sense that they would be going public about this reboot without having their trademarks and what do they call legal registration fully done. I don't know what legal registration means, by the way. I've never heard that term be used to describe like a show getting processed, but maybe that's like a general term to mean like patent, trademark, whatever. The next screenshot says this was a leaked schedule, so somehow this person also got access to a schedule that was leaked. And for filming already, I guess, apparently. Again, I don't know why they would already have decided to plan filming something in a month when they don't have the trademark done for it yet, but let's just ignore that piece of evidence and focus on this screenshot specifically and the information this provides. So one of the key things that it says is how many episodes it's going to have, which is 13. It says it's going to have 13 episodes. They don't do that anymore. TV doesn't really do that anymore. I know the original show had 13 episodes for each season, but 13 episodes is quite long for a modern show to have. If this is going to be on streaming, it's never going to be more than 10 episodes. It's usually within like the 5 to 8 episode range. And if this was to be on a network television show, maybe that would be more likely, but to me, that is very suspicious that it would say that it has 13 episodes. And then it says that the production company is New Blood Productions Incorporated and Fresh TV. Now, I decided to go on the Fresh TV website because they have a website you can go to that has information about all the things that they've produced. The thing they're most famous for making is Total Drama. That's the thing that Tom McGillis is most well known for making. They have a whole section about My Babysitter's a Vampire, and when you click on it, you still get a 404, like nothing to be found screen. This has been happening for years now. I don't know when exactly this website stopped having like an information section on Mabav, but for years now, us fans have known this because we've trolled the Fresh TV website many a times now for years, and nothing about the website has changed at all. So if they were really producing this, you'd think that there'd be a little something talking about this on their website, but maybe they haven't yet because they haven't gotten their trademark done yet. But then why did they make a TikTok account? Why did they make a YouTube account? Those are my questions that I'm asking about all of this information. It says that the shooting dates are going to be from September 8th, 2026 to December 18th, 2026, and that they're currently in the pre-production stage. The shooting dates, again, are they just assuming that their copyright is going to clear by September? Usually you wait till after the copyright is cleared. This is like the first thing you do. Again, as far as I'm aware, maybe I could be wrong. Someone who knows more about production can tell me in the comments below. I would really appreciate it. But if they're going to be filming in 2 months and they haven't casted yet, I'm not sure if that's normal or not. People can let me know if that's normal. That you usually announce when something's gonna happen officially when you have the cast, so you can like tell people like who is going to be starring in certain things. You know what I mean? It says the producers are going to be Tom McGillis and Jennifer Perch, which makes sense because they were producers and the original conception creators of Mabav back in the day. So there we go. And then it says the director is going to be Paul Fox. I looked his name up, and first of all, there's plenty of Paul Foxes out in the world, but when you look up Paul Fox Canada specifically, Wikipedia page discussing how he directed episodes of Degrassi, The New Generation, come up. So, that's plausible enough, I guess. He's worked in Canadian television in the past, and many a Mabav alum has appeared in an episode of Degrassi: The Next Generation, so sure, he's here. He might be known by other people working on this show, and that's why he is going to be the director. Okay, he's directed other episodes in the past. There's no list of a showrunner, which is interesting to me. To be fair, the original Bav didn't have a showrunner. We can claim that Tim Burns was the showrunner, but he never directly said, I was the showrunner. He said, I acted as showrunner, as someone who wrote a lot of episodes, and he was a specific type of manager. I think he was or producer. I mean, he was, I think, an executive producer specifically on the show. I'd have to double check that information. But he essentially functioned as showrunner. And then it says that a production manager is going to be Elena Petrova. I looked at this name and I couldn't really find anything about this name. I found an IMDb page claiming that Elena Petrova was a actress and producer from a different country that isn't the United States or Canada, nowhere seemingly close to North America, specifically Bulgarian, and she seems to be from Bulgaria. That's at least what this IMDb page says. And a bunch of people were saying, The Vampire Diaries, Elena Petrova, in the comments on this post. And so that led me to look up Elena Petrova Vampire Diaries to see if this is someone who had worked on the Vampire Diaries, maybe, which would hint at a possible style that the show was going to maybe move in the direction towards by getting someone who worked on the Vampire Diaries. But no, Petrova seems to be a last name of the fictional characters who exist in the show. I actually haven't seen much of the show, if I'm being honest, only a couple episodes, so I didn't immediately recognize Petrova as an important last name from that series. And then, of course, Elena is the name of the main character of the Vampire Diaries, so I don't know, because there does seem to be real Elena Petrovas out there in the world, but I don't know if this name is just something they pulled from the Vampire Diaries or not. This says their production office, which is 245 Carlaw Avenue in Toronto, Ontario, and I did look that up on Google Maps, because that is a different address than what is listed on the Fresh TV website. But when I looked up the address on the Fresh TV website, which was on Wallace Avenue in Toronto, Canada, I didn't see any visual markers showing that Fresh TV still operated in that area as of August 2024. So who knows? It could have changed and they just didn't update their website. Maybe their website's outdated, and that's why nothing to do with this reboot is appearing on their website. I'm willing to believe that, sure. But I didn't see anything as of, I can't remember the exact month, but in 2026, which was updated the Google Maps view for Carlaw Avenue, I didn't, again, see anything indicating that it had a building that Fresh TV operated out of, but maybe they don't have a big old sign that says Fresh TV on the outside. So sure, that is their production studio. It looked like an office building that one could rent out, so okay. But then this is the most integral part. They included an email. So they included, for the contact information, the production office, and an email. info@newbloodproductions.ca. I decided to send this account an email. I figured, even if, I'm just some rando or whatever, and the email just gets sent out into the ether, at least I sent something out there and tried to get in contact in some way with whatever information I was given. So I composed a really thoughtful email to send out to these people, and was immediately hit with the Gmail notification that this email does not exist, and that the email address was wrong. I don't think I had any typos. I double, triple, quadruple checked the address, the email address, to see that I got it right, and it looks like it's correct. I sent them another email just a few minutes now before recording, and I got the same response. So to me, that's the most damning evidence that this is all fake, that this is not a real email that exists. I don't know if you have to pay money for an email address like this, so that's why it hasn't been created by whoever's doing this. I don't know. I, to be fair, have not sent an email out to where the resume submissions should be sent, which is crew@newbloodproductions.ca. I've not sent an email out to that yet, because at first I was thinking this was real and I didn't want to send an email to the wrong place. Maybe I should have sent an email to that person. And then there's a note saying, please note, background casting and local crew hiring will commence mid-August. Unsolicited crew, creative materials, or scripts will not be accepted. So that's why I didn't want to send an email to crew@newbloodproductions.ca, because I was like, well, what if they block me or something because they think I'm sending unsolicited creative materials or whatever to them. Anyways, if you hear fireworks in the background still, there might hear some explosion sounds. That's because I'm recording this around 4th of July time, and I live in the United States, so people love their fireworks around this time, so they'll be going off in the background. I apologize. I don't think the microphone's picking up on it. I just thought I'd mention just in case. The next screenshot is a very, questionable screenshot, but the caption says the company has put a request on June 12th, and the registration is still pending, which is why no official news outlets have made any public statement. To me, this is them covering and explaining why, because that's the first thing people ask, like, well, how come an official news outlet like The Atlantic or The Cut or wherever, the places that normally share this kind of information, Hollywood Reporter even, like, why haven't these places, told us about this new reboot yet? And this is the claim as to why, is because the copyright and everything hasn't been claimed yet, and because the registration, whatever that means, is still pending. Again, makes no sense why you would make social media before having an official statement. You would think you would make your social media, you'd make your TikTok and your YouTube or whatever after an official public statement has been made by an official news outlet that you can then like have a screenshot of and post as like one of the first posts on your account. To me, that makes more sense. If this was something that was like trying to drive fan interest, like, hey guys, like, are you guys interested? Would you guys like to see him a bad reboot? I would prefer to see that from Tom McGillis's personal account. That would be the most okay with me. He has a Twitter. I looked it up. If he were to tweet something like, would anyone be interested in a bad reboot? Or if they were to create this TikTok account being like, is anyone interested? And they weren't claiming that it's already happening and that it's real, I think I would question it a lot less. Honestly, if there were no brand new accounts at all, if there was no new blood TikTok and YouTube accounts, and this fan account just posted these things, I probably wouldn't have looked into this at all because I would have just believed it because I'm like, oh, maybe these are real leaks. I would have been gullible enough to just go with it. And then if these accounts came out after this information had sat for a little bit, maybe I would have been more easily fooled, is all I'm saying, because that's usually the order that these things take. Now, this Tina person in the comments, because a lot of people are asking, wait, is this real? Or no, this isn't real. This Tina person has been responding to these comments by saying, yes, it is. Tom McGillis follows the official account, or Tom McGillis, he made this official statement saying that he's working on the show, that it's happening. We're going to start production. We're in pre-production. We're going to start filming soon. Here's the thing about that. It all seems very questionable in a way that is very spooky to me personally. So on this YouTube account, the New Blood YouTube account, they posted that video, like I explained earlier, with the vlog footage from Vanessa's channel, and then it cuts to an audio recording of Tom McGillis talking about all of this, saying, we're filming on Carlaw Avenue, or we're starting production on Carlaw Avenue soon, and I'm very excited about this My Babysitter's Vampire, the New Blood remake. Now, I don't know enough about AI or not. At first, I thought that this like tape recorder footage that was flipping around was AI. I'm actually not sure if it's AI anymore. It could be a real animation that someone actually created. All this misinformation stuff really spooks me out. I'll be completely honest with you guys. So this little animation that plays over the audio may or may not be AI. The audio may or may not be AI. I will not tell you for sure or not. I will not say it is or it is not because I don't know anymore. Life is scary now. I think using Tom McGillis is a very interesting thing because he is the person who worked on the show who has made the most public outing recently. A couple months back, he actually appeared on a live stream with Kai Cenat, which I thought was quite a random poll, but I guess he does talk about children's TV shows that he's like nostalgic for quite often. I think he's a little bit younger than me or around my age. So stuff like Total Drama and a Good Luck Charlie reunion or whatever are things that he does apparently. So that's cool. And he interviewed Tom McGillis about Total Drama, and they briefly talked about My Babysitter's Vampire as far as I'm aware. I actually haven't watched the full interview yet, I'll be completely honest with you. But the reason why I mentioned that is because if this audio recording were to be AI, I'm not saying it is, the audio doesn't sound the highest quality or crisp, it does sound a little bit robotic, but I don't know, I'm not going to say anything definitively. If it were to be AI, though, it would be Tom McGillis would be the best person because just a few months ago, like I think a little under a year ago, we got an interview with him where he was talking. So he's, out of anyone who's worked on the show, the person who has audio of himself that you could train an AI on to, claim is actually him with the audio sounding. You know what I mean? Because everyone else, like Jennifer Perch, Tim Burns, like all these names I've listed, as far as I'm aware, have not done an interview lately or haven't like spoken, haven't had audio recordings of their voices public to where you couldn't like realistically, if you were to go back and try and find an interview of them to compare audio, it would maybe not fit as much. But again, I'm not going to say that this audio recording is AI or not because I'm scared. Once again, I would really just love to reiterate and explain that I have no malintention with calling this out. I am just on high alert with this kind of stuff because this is actually very, very common in the My Babysitter's a Vampire fandom. Not with anyone I'm in community with on Mabavblr necessarily, but generally out there in the world, people will do this all the time. They will claim random things about the show being created, ending or beginning or whatever. They will say that a season 3 is coming out, and it'll obviously be like someone's elaborate fanfic. A couple months or a year or two back, I can't remember now, someone did this on Tumblr, and it was very obviously a fan creation thing. And I reblogged the stuff and was like, oh, look how fun this is. This is a fun little fan project that someone's doing. In something I planned to talk about in Mabavtober, which by the way, this will now be talked about in Mabavtober on my main channel. It'll have a whole section in the Mabav video I have planned, but it's a whole thing, and I won't go into too many details because I want to keep things a surprise, and also things are still up in the air. But a whole thing that I've been meaning to talk about is the fact that on somebody's Mabav YouTube video, it's like the 3-hour video by BH Ultra, multi-million views on the video, someone commented saying, like, I always wanted to know what they would have done with the continuation of the show. So I emailed Tim Burns back in the day, and this is the response I got. And they just like pasted a huge paragraph. And I'm like, why does everyone kept asking me, like, what do you think about this? And I'm like, why would I immediately believe this is real? I don't know who this commenter is. They just claimed that they're a random person who was curious and emailed Tim Burns and got a response back. I have no reason to believe that this is real or not. I mean, I guess I have no reason to not believe it's real, but I just find it completely questionable as to why, like, that should be seen as proof, like, true hardcore evidence, when it is just somebody who made a YouTube comment on a YouTube video. A random person, not even claiming to be someone close to Tim Burns or anyone who was like near the production at all, just a fan who decided to, like, you know what I mean? That is a very dubious thing to just immediately believe, unless you just really want to believe it. And that seems to be the case for everyone on TikTok and YouTube and everything who is like, oh my gosh, who are really buying into this and believing this, because of course they want it to be true. It looks legit enough. Why would I ever question this? And I completely understand that, and I don't blame anybody who has been, bamboozled or duped before by these kinds of things. I'm willing to admit, well, when I have egg on my face, if this is actually real and it's just been an interesting roundabout way that they've been explaining this reboot, then I'd love to be involved. I'll shill for it. I'll, send me a t-shirt. I'll wear it. I'll talk about it on my social medias for forever. The only thing I won't do is compromise my reviewer integrity. I will never say I like something because I'm getting paid or whatever. I'll never do that. So if they told me, yeah, promote the show and say that you like it no matter what. Give us a positive review no matter what, and we'll pay you, or just do that. I won't do that. So that's the only reason why I wouldn't be full gung-ho for supporting this project, because if it's bad, I need to tell people that it's bad on my personal opinion. You know what I mean? I don't know what the reason would be to make this hoax, to have this not be real and have someone do this whole thing for it. I don't know what the reason is. I'll be completely honest with you. I don't know why people have done this in the past. I guess we should just wait, because they said they're going to release the cast list soon. We'll wait for more information to come out. I'm just presenting the information to you guys and telling you that I'm very suspicious, and I don't really necessarily believe that this reboot is real, at least from how it's been presented recently and how it's been presented to us now. I realized I was talking very fast and I was a little bit frantic. I apologize. I'm normally a lot more cool, calm, and collected on the internet, but this whole event has actually been stressing me out quite a lot, honestly. I'll be honest with you guys. I was like worried and like kind of having a freak out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I was out hanging out with people yesterday. I was with people in real life. I was talking to them about it, and I was just kind of glancing at my phone because people were talking about it in our Mabav Discord server. And then it wasn't until I got home late at night that I was like actually doing research, and that's when I kind of started having a freak out. So I still am, to a degree. Like I said, this kind of stuff happens a lot of the time in the Mabav fandom, but this is the first time it's happened on TikTok, And so the algorithm did its thing and it kind of spread everywhere and it definitely breached containment. But yeah, if this is all real, and Tina, if you're a real person out there, I'd love to work together. I have a TikTok, I just don't use it. I'm terrified of TikTok. I don't want to. How y'all act on there scares the shit out of me. Um, I'll be completely honest with you. So, but I do have an account that I made, just cuz. So if you have insider information that I don't know about, then you could message to me. I'd love to see it. Email me. I have my email made public. I'll put it in the description of this video so people can email me with information. I have no problem getting emails from people. I love it. Yeah, email me. I guess I'll be paying attention to my TikTok DMs. I don't know. I don't use TikTok, like I said. I can check it on my desktop every once in a while, maybe. But I'd love to collab. I'd love to work together. I have no malintention, no interest in being a hater. I have my opinions on a Mabav reboot that I will probably share at a later date. But right now, if all of this is real, I'd love to be involved, and I would love to not say, this isn't real, guys, we're all being tricked. I would love to be on the camp of, yay, this is real, let's see what happens. Also, ignore my t-shirt. This is one of my only Mabav themed shirts that I have, so I decided to wear it for the podcast episode. It's my shirt with a photo of Benny with an X through it that I got on Redbubble, so the print is weird and has an awkward white box around it. But yeah, with AI and TikTok and chatbots telling everyone that things are real if they're not real, really scares me. I'm not gonna lie, how quickly people were just willing to believe that this was true and get themselves all excited and worked up about it scares me a little bit. At least everyone I'm in community with went to go talk with people. They sent screenshots and said, hey, what do you guys think about this? And we had conversations, we did research together, and then we came to this conclusion that it's very dubious, may or may not be real. Versus some people who I can, at least what I'm assuming in the comments, are like, oh my gosh, this is real, let's get hype. They better not hire Malachi Barton. Oh, that reminds me, another piece of information. Another account showed up with the acronym MBSAV, so MBSAV, the new blood, and it had a video which looks really weird. Again, I don't know if it's AI or not. I'm just saying the moon doesn't look like that. How it looks in that video, it looks very different than how the moon normally looks. The moon has very specific craters you can see, and there's many different other craters on that moon, so maybe it's just poor art, I don't know. But on that account, it specifically claims that it's coming to Disney Plus in 2027, which is wild to me. Again, this may be not affiliated with the actual Mabav the New Blood at all. Who knows, because it's a different name. I don't know. But there's no way that Disney Plus would be involved in any way if Fresh TV is involved in any way, in my opinion. Okay, Fresh TV worked with Teletoon. Also, they've been tagging Teletoon a lot in this. Teletoon doesn't exist anymore. It was bought by Cartoon Network. It is now Cartoon Network Canada. So if this was real, it would be saying Cartoon Network Canada, not Teletoon in the tag. It's mainly been in the hashtags and stuff. So maybe that's just for public reach because people will talk about Teletoon in like a nostalgic way. So, whatever, okay? But Disney, the only reason why you would ever include Disney's name in something like this is if you thought that Disney created the show, which it didn't. That is a huge misconception that people still have about the show. I said it at the very top of the podcast where I was like, hey, like Disney Plus would not be involved at all. Disney did not make the show. Disney Channel didn't make the show. They just bought the rights to air it on their network. They have nothing to do with the show at all. Okay? Cartoon Network is owned by Warner Brothers, and Teletoon is now owned by Cartoon Network. So this is a Warner Brothers production. On my DVD copy, it says that it's been made and distributed by Warner Brothers. This is the most recent one that I just bought. I have another copy that's a lot older. This one is still in the plastic, as you can see. And yeah, on the back here, it has the Warner Brothers logo. Look right there. You see that? That's the Warner Brothers logo right there. And this is like an original copy that was released. Disney Channel did release copies of DVDs as well, so those exist. Just letting y'all know. But that will have the Disney Channel logo on them versus this release, which is like the more official, like common release that you'll see, the green DVD case as we call it. Warner Brothers. So Warner Brothers and Disney Channel are not going to be working together on this, is all I'm saying. So that's another example of like, the fuck are we going on about, okay? I normally am a lot more chill and composed when talking about these things, but since this is all recent information and I have just been doing research as I've been going. That's why maybe I sound a little bit more animated and dramatic. So I apologize for that. I'm recording this also very late in the process too. Like I said, I had a podcast episode about the Sprouse twins that was supposed to come up on this day, and the day before that you'll see this is when I'm recording this. If there's more information that comes out after this, that's like really important. I'll probably make a Tumblr post about it. Follow me on Tumblr. I've already made a post talking about all of this on my Tumblr account. If you don't have a Tumblr, you can just like look at my blog as if it's a website on your desktop browser or on your phone as well. I think you can. You can still look at everything without needing the app. Or like needing an account. That's one thing that's nice about Tumblr is that it still kind of functions even if you don't have an account or an app or anything. It's good for archival purposes in that way. But I'll link my Tumblr post that I've already made in the description. And if there is more updates that I need to talk about, I will do it over there. I don't see myself making another video on YouTube yet. Things could change. Who knows? I might have to make another podcast episode if more really, really important information comes out. But outside of this, I don't see myself making any more videos on YouTube until Mababtober, which will be in October. So look out for that. Subscribe. All that nonsense. I'm going to keep worrying about this. Listen, Mabab is my whole life. I post about it on my social media every day for years now. For more than 5 years now, I've been doing that. I've been posting on YouTube for more than 3 years now. I love this show. It's my whole life. I am the Mabab YouTuber. That's what I like to call myself, even if my stuff doesn't have as many views as other people's do. Yeah, I had the podcast as well, the Vamping Up Campy podcast with my friends, which is still going, but we're doing Gravity Falls now. But we watched and reviewed every episode of the show, including the movie. Like, we talked about so much of it way back in 2022. If you look up an episode of the show, our podcast comes up, which is really fun, just kind of, unique. So this is really important to me. And so it really emotionally affects me when they do stuff like this. That's all I'm saying. I'll be honest here, And again, if this is real, I would love to be contacted. Please contact me. I would say respond to my email, but apparently the address wasn't real, so I don't think that email went anywhere to anybody because that address was fake. So I'll try again, maybe, to contact somebody. If this is real and, everything that I've talked about now is just on accident or whatever, then like I said, I really would love to be involved. Please message me. Please tell me it's real. I wanted to try and get in contact with Tom McGillis somehow, but I don't have access to his email because you need to be like a real business person to have access to his email, which is fair enough. And he doesn't really seem to have any social media. Again, another reason why he'd be a good person to pick for this hoax. He can't just so easily post somewhere like, hey guys, this is fake, because he doesn't really have much social media. I would love to get in contact with him and chat with him about this, or anyone who worked on the show. If anyone who worked on the show sees this, knows me, wants to have a talk, I would love to talk. I'd love to do an interview over Zoom or whatever. I'm all about this show. I love this show. I'm willing to talk about anything regarding it, with anyone who was on it. So, real quickly, I will talk about how people feel about a reboot. A lot of people just say that they're very excited and how they don't want Malachi Barton to star in it, which is very funny because, again, this isn't a Disney Channel project, so I don't see why Malachi Barton would be involved. But, that's very funny to me. But something that some friends of mine have said on Tumblr regarding a reboot, which have been interesting, is how they don't think it would be that good of an idea and how the original series was really good but was so specific to the time. And there was some really fun lore in the show, but it doesn't necessarily seem like it would apply for the modern day. And like I said, I'm going to reserve my thoughts for a later date, either Mababtober, or if people really, really want to hear it from me, either a Tumblr post or another podcast episode. But like I said, we're going to try and stay focused on this podcast. And next episode will be my Sprouse Twins episode, I'm hoping. Another mutual of mine who I'm really close to in the Mabab fandom said, like, there's not even an IMDb page out there. You think there at a minimum would be an IMDb page? So anyways, I think that's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for listening, for watching. I appreciate you guys' patience with my frantic behavior in this episode. I hope I was clear and made my point and I was concise. I hope you guys understand that I love this show with every fiber of my being. I've written fanfic about this show for gifts for the holiday exchange. That's another thing. For years now, we've been doing the Mabab holiday exchange where every time in December, we do a little exchange. We make gifts for each other and it's really fun. And we've had this whole community of people who love and care about this show. We'd love to be involved, all of us from Mabab Blur or in the Mabab Discord server. So and I don't want to approach this with hostility. Even if I sounded a little bit angry while making this, I apologize. I just know that I'm not angry. I'm just concerned because this is not fun and games to me. This shit is serious. All right, it's always been serious. Anyone who watches my channel knows that. So yes, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you for listening. That's all. My camera's gonna die. I'm gonna run out of footage space soon, so I'm just gonna end it here. If there's anything else I need to add, I will add it. See you guys next week where we talk about the School on a Boat on the School on a Boat podcast. Okay. Bye.